true. However, you look at this game, and I would say, Royce, that it followed a very similar script to what we saw in Game 2. The Thunder go into halftime. They're trailing, this time by 2. Last game in Game 2, they were trailing by 1 point, and we saw a fury of a run with this group in the third quarter to completely turn the tides of this game.
I'll do you one better. It
Yeah?
felt like it felt a lot like the games at 3 and 4 in Phoenix as well.
Great point.
Road games on the playoffs where the home team, as you would expect, came out, played with a ton of energy, a ton of effort, and the Lakers knocked down a ton of shots in that first half and started to kind of put some pressure on OKC to respond and to execute. And very similar to those games, and like you said, Game 2 as well, the Thunder just weathered storms, continued to play well, and then were able to start kind of stacking defensive stops up in that third quarter. And really what kind of flipped the game around, and I think this is a really cool element of this Thunder team, Isaiah Joe, those 2 big threes, late third quarter. I think it allowed OKC to take an 11-point lead into the fourth quarter. But Game 2, we were sitting here talking about Jared McCain and the spark that he added. Now it's Isaiah Joe on the floor, spacing and knocking down big shots. And it's just a great reminder. Every Thunder fan already knows this. Every player sitting on that bench is available, they are ready, and they are willing to step in and make an impact when their number is called. There's no formula, there's no template necessarily.
Right.
They just step on the floor and they make an impact, and that's what Isaiah Joe did in that second half.
It's the Thunder's biggest superpower is the amount of guys that they can call upon at any given moment in a basketball game. Another element to this, if you just want to take a macro view of this game and what the Thunder was able to accomplish, let's remind you that this is a Game 3 of a playoff series. And for the Thunder, historically, this has been one of those games that they have tallied as just one of those things they wanted to work on, make sure that they came out, throw a great punch. And we heard from the Thunder after Game 3 in Phoenix where they felt like, you know, in playoffs prior, they felt like they left a little bit to be desired, but this has been something that's been top of mind for them to make sure that they're playing strong in Game 3s.
Yeah, it's a great example of just the lessons learned and how the experiences have really dictated the mindset of the team. And like you said, Paris, last season they didn't play great in Game 3s. They won some of them. They beat Memphis on the road, but they trailed by, what was it, 27 in that game. Didn't win the Game 3 in Denver, didn't win the Game 3 against Minnesota. So, but they played better against Phoenix, and I think they played better again, kind of stacking on top of it tonight. Again, the Lakers really kind of threw out a number of different looks. They played Shea a little more straight up, kind of that traditional gap coverage that we see so many teams go with. And I think it disrupted Shea just a little bit. He tried to kind of snap back into kind of looking for his own offense a little more aggressively. But as the game went on, of course, SGA started knocking down shots, finding that rhythm. Kaysen Wallace had a huge first half, kind of as a result of that. Again, Chet Holmgren was able to capitalize on some of that. So some of these Thunder players, even with the different looks that the Lakers threw at them, really were able to take advantage.
Let's talk about some of the guys that contributed at a high level in this one, starting with the Thunder's leading scorer tonight, A.J. Mitchell, 24 points, 10 assists, a double-double in a playoff game, and all the while just competing at a high level, but being so efficient out there on the court. Royce, what did you see from him?
I mean, it's just an amazing thing. We've said it a lot, that he's a second-year player. This is his first real playoff
maturity.
Experience. I mean, but it is so remarkable to watch A.J. Mitchell in the way that he handles the pressure of these games. Because, you know, we've been around the NBA for a while. What you see a lot in NBA postseason basketball is how heavy the possessions can get. The ball can feel a little heavier in your hands because you start wondering, should I be the one taking the shot right now in this close game? Should it be me? And A.J. Mitchell, just no flinching, no blinking, no fear. And we've heard that from a lot of his teammates. He's been empowered by them. They understand he's such a gifted player, but he's always making great decisions with the ball. And then on top of it, just the activity he plays with. He was a part of that kind of flurry in the fourth quarter where the Thunder seemed to be getting every miss. And, you know, Isaiah Hartenstein was huge in that, but AJ was attacking loose balls himself, and he was a beneficiary of an and one. And then he got his own miss back on the free throw and set up Lou Dort for another three. So, I mean, just the activity, it's the poise, the composure, but also the effort that a guy like AJ Mitchell plays with.
And we've talked about it before, the force that he also plays with, because, mind you, he's a downhill scorer, but he's not the biggest guy out here on the court. That takes some fearlessness, that takes some competitiveness, and it takes some toughness because he's taken some hits in these games, but he's popped right back up, and he's kept attacking downhill nonetheless.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. I mean, he's a great and one player. I mean, he finishes through contact. And, you know, I think there's something to be said about about the left-handed player, right, Paris?
I think so too.
I mean,
there's something about it.
I do think that kind of just slight shift in the unorthodox nature that he's so strong at finishing with his left hand.
Yeah.
AJ by no means is a one-handed player. He's great going to his right as well. He kind of likes to go right and pull up left a lot of times, but he's great at finishing with the left hand, and I think he's just really good at keeping his defender a little bit off balance at times. And, you know, it's kind of an amazing thing to me as well. AJ's a very good spot-up three-point shooter, knocked down a big one in the fourth quarter, but he also seems to get every defensive player to bite on that pump fake. They cannot help themselves but bite on that pump fake because they know of what a threat he is standing behind the three-point line.
He's got such great pace and tempo, good control on the offensive end of the floor, and an overall immaculate game by him in Game 3 on the road, mind you, and that just adds another wrinkle to all of this for Oklahoma City. We talk about the composure and the poise. It's one thing to do that at home in your own home crowd environment where you know when you get on that run, that crowd is just going to be furious behind you. But on the road, especially in this arena, it's not always the case.
I mean, that's a big thing that people love to say is a cliche in NBA history is that your bench doesn't always travel. That doesn't seem to be a big problem for the Thunder because to your point that you made earlier, Paris, when you can go down the bench and you have so many different options that you can tap into, that it just, you know, there's more potential for somebody to break through in a game and find that rhythm. Isaiah Joe did it. AJ Mitchell, who's obviously starting right now, but he's kind of in that bench unit, so to speak. So many different guys. When you can lean on different players and find those matchups, find those gaps in the game, I mean, what a luxury it is for Coach Mark Daignault and the staff to be able to kind of say, all right, Isaiah Joe really wasn't a huge factor in Game 2, but he's going to be one in Game 3.
Yeah.
And not to say Jared McCain wasn't good. He knocked down some shots in the first half.
Came
was
in,
great
hit a
himself.
huge three.
But it's also the unselfish mindset. It's not like anybody's saying, I got to get my minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, what can I do to help the team when you call my number?
Well, we talked about one southpaw in A.J. Mitchell. Let's talk about another one in Isaiah Hartenstein. Our very own Nick Gallo got a chance to catch up with the big man after the game. Let's listen in.
All right.
I got him too.
All right, this team, you come out, you outscore those guys by 25 in the second half. What is it about this group that can learn in-game and apply it so quick?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of high IQ players. At halftime, we knew we had to be a lot better. We had to execute a lot better. And I think we just came out with a different energy, and we played the way we should.
Yeah, and defensively, just nothing was easy for them. You dominated in terms of the paint, and eventually their shooting cooled down. What was the difference defensively specifically?
Just picking up intensity, just playing more of a team defense, playing more team offense, and just limiting the second chances. And I think everyone did a great job in the second half, just really just picking it up.
You've developed such a partnership with A.J. Mitchell in a really short time. Tell me about how that's developed and what you saw from him tonight to set you up.
Yeah, he's been huge. I mean, each game he gets better and better. You would think he's been in the league for I don't know how many years, just how poised he is, and he was big for us tonight.
Game 3 on the road against a veteran tough team. What does it say about this group to win this game going away the way you did?
It was huge. Yeah. Dub, you want to say something?
Say something, Dub.
Dub, say something.
I'm very proud of this group. Oh, my God. They're doing really well, but we have one more game. So we're going to enjoy this tonight and get back to the drawing board. There's a lot of stuff we got to improve on.
Yeah.
Perfect media training. Love it.
Also, look, y'all. Look, y'all.
I got you, Dub.
Thanks, guys.
You know, he might not be playing, but he is always dialed in. J-Dub contributing to that walk-off interview with Isaiah Hartenstein and our very own Nick Gallo. Some great stuff. And to Nick's point, he talked about the fact that nothing came easy for the Lakers in this game here tonight. And one thing that always stands out to me is when that lineup on the court of Cason Wallace, you've got Alex Caruso and Lou Dort out there at the same time, and I'm just questioning how the Lakers intend on scoring the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have perimeter-oriented players as well. I mean, it just has to be exhausting. I mean, we've talked about it before, is that you can have pockets of the game where you feel like you're executing well against OKC, but what is so challenging is to do it for 48 minutes.
Exactly.
And there's some point in the game, and some of that has to do, I think, with both physical fatigue and mental fatigue, that they're just kind of wear you down and crack you open. And that's what those three perimeter dogs often do. And when you got guys like Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren patrolling the paint behind you and so disciplined with that and so dialed in on their coverages, makes it really hard to score on OKC for 48 minutes.
One thing the Thunder knows for sure, teams are going to get their licks in, but their ability to respond is second to none. All right, let's get you over to the press room so you could hear from Thunder head coach Mark Daignault postgame.